Hello, this is Father Frei, and welcome to the 10th episode on Ignatian spirituality. This episode will focus on the third rule of the rules for the discernment of spirits, according to St. Ignatius of Loyola in his spiritual exercises. And once again, the translation we'll be taking is Father Timothy Gallagher's from his The Discernment of Spirits. This third rule reads, "The third is of spiritual consolation. I call it consolation when some interior movement is caused in the soul, through which the soul comes to be inflamed with love of its Creator and Lord, and consequently, when it can love no created thing on the face of the earth in itself, but only in the Creator of them all. Likewise, when it sheds tears, it moved to love its Lord, whether out of sorrow for one's sins, or for the passion of Christ our Lord, or because of other things directly ordered to his service and praise. Finally, I call consolation every increase of hope, faith, and charity, and all interior joy that calls and attracts to heavenly things, and to the salvation of one's soul, quieting it and giving it peace in its Creator and Lord." So as Ignatius points out, this third rule deals with spiritual consolation. He explains that consolation is any interior movement caused in the soul. And again, it's important to keep in mind that this deals with spiritual things. He's speaking of spiritual consolation. And he describes that these interior movements, these consolations caused in the soul, can be one of three types. The first is when the soul comes to be inflamed with love of its Creator, and in so doing, the soul not only loves God above all things, but loves all things in God. It's putting on that lens of love of God and seeing all of creation through that lens, through one's love of God. Secondly, Ignatius says that spiritual consolations can deal with tears that move one's soul to greater love of God, whether the tears be out of sorrow for one's sins, or while meditating upon the passion and suffering of Jesus, or tears of joy that are a result of service to God and praise of Him. And finally, the third type of spiritual consolation, which is sort of an all-encompassing definition, Ignatius says, is any increase of hope, faith, and charity, and all interior joy that calls and attracts the soul to heavenly things and to the salvation of one's soul. And all of these consolations, greater hope, greater faith, greater charity, greater interest in spiritual things, heavenly things, a focus on one's salvation, ultimately quiets that soul and gives that soul peace in its Lord. Thank you for watching, and God bless each one of you.